Good evening, everyone. William E. here, 1799. Glad you could drop around. Like this video, please share, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. I don't ask for anything. Hit that little subscribe button down there, and let's be part of the show here. You know what I mean? We're all Americans here. You know, there's I read an article not long ago how these idiots come up with this nonsense that gun-free zones save lives. I don't know where they come up with that, but that's what they say. Anti-gun groups and these Democratic governors and attorney generals, prosecutors, all these Democrats believe that you shouldn't own a firearm. That's why they hate the Supreme Court. With that said. But the big problem here is they want to push more of these gun-free zones. The gun-free zone is supposed to save lives. I find it ironic because that's a complete lie. But hey, well, that's what it comes out to. So you go to a restaurant, you got your family with you, your kids and your wife or whatever, excuse me, and you left your firearm locked up in a containment, strapped to the vehicle, ammunition, the glove compartment, everything's locked away, secure. You did wife the same thing. You go in this restaurant. There's probably about 8-9 people you know is also carry firearms, so they did the same thing. Restaurant's full. There's about maybe 30 people there own a firearm but can't carry because it's a gun-free zone, and the owner does not like firearms on their premises. Probably mall is the same way. Shopping store is the same way. Many places don't like people carrying firearms in their on their properties. These are gun-free zones. But gun-free zones to an individual or individuals, they're called soft targets. Soft targets means what it is. No resistance. You have all this law enforcement floating around doing all they can. They stop, they say hello to you. They're patrolling, they're always on vigil. Some might be sitting across the street there. You never know. I mean, they're all over the place. Which is good, in a way, you know. But the problem, guys, is might not be there. It might be on a call somewhere. But these politicians don't give a damn about that. They don't care, and these anti-gun groups don't care because they want to disarm everybody. All your semi-automatic firearms, they don't want you to carry a firearm. We want to ban all this because we want to create a utopia. Sure. So we also want to enter your home and check to see what kind of safety you got, and if your firearm's locked up or not, and the ammunition's somewhere else. Yeah. Here's a quick little thing. Like I said, there's all kinds of criminals that came over that border. These are statistics that were brought by ICE. Murderers, 13,900. They're running loose. Nobody knows where the hell they're at. Sex offenders, 15,800. No one knows where they're at. A total of 425,431. A lot of criminals. Not to mention domestic criminals. So X is probably higher. So we're talking between maybe 3 million, 3.7 million, maybe 7.4 million. Maybe. Huh? You don't need a firearm. What do you need a firearm for? What do you need to carry a gun for? Restaurants may say we don't like you own fire, bring firearm on premises. Malls say we don't like you bring a firearm on premises. Certain gatherings, it might be a lot of law enforcement there, but don't want you to carry a firearm in them, on that area. So 20, maybe 30 people, 40 people might be just totally disarmed because they can't carry a firearm in these venues or these areas. You think that person or persons or a group of people are going to worry about the law? We get so many laws on the books now, including red flag laws, are not designed to go after criminals, they're designed to go after you, the American people. Yep. There's so many laws on the books now, not everybody can figure them out. Not half the law enforcement can figure them out, but they're out there. Then you got this other problem. The criminals don't believe in law. They probably bought their firearm illegally, probably from across the border or who knows where. Their vests, their incendiaries, their handguns. They put their manifesto on an internet computer. Unless they're a gang or some other terrorist organization, they're not allowed to do that. Terrorist organization will probably put the manifesto up there just to scare the people. They may not use firearms, might use something else. But you know the wild part about this? You can't defend yourself. Your wife decides she's going to go to the store the next day. She gets up, gets acted all together. She goes to the store, does her shopping, doesn't go home. I wonder what will happen. Go on for a long period of time. What happened? You know where she went, so you go to that area, you find her car there, but no more. Pocketbooks in the car, door is not fully closed. Groceries in or wherever she was picking up, and the kids are gone. A horror story, isn't it? The story does happen. And you find these people 2 or 3 years later, or months or days later, if you find them all. Because you couldn't carry a firearm to defend yourself. But you can carry a spray or a little mace or this long lethal look like gun that you could use. But still in all, if these people are all drugged up and whatever, they're hyped up on whatever it may be, that isn't going to affect them at all. But then again, that gun people are telling you that you don't need to carry a firearm. You are the biggest threat for carrying a firearm. You are a danger to society carrying that firearm. Yet, you go through the 4473, buy it illegally. You do the waiting period. You go through all this training and you continue to train. But you're the threat. Because you carry a firearm and you want to protect yourself. Government decides going to walk in your home and say, well, we're here to see if your firearms are in a safe storage. Really? You're coming to talk to me about whether my firearms are in safe storage or not, but my question here is, what about the guy who hijacked the person down the road on the way to work? Left his house, his firearm in the house because he couldn't take it to work with him to protect himself from a carjacking. Oh well. That's not our concern. Laws are not meant to stop criminals, they're meant to go after you. They're meant to do one thing and one thing only. And that's to deprive you not to carry a firearm, not to buy a firearm. That's it. So you have a home invasion, guess what? You're on your own. You may not hear from you for 2 or 3 days or someone decide knocking on your door to find the door's half cracked open and everybody's deceased on the floor. House is ransacked. Vehicles are stolen. Oh well. Common sense is the main basics here. Common sense. Basic common sense. Politicians don't believe in common sense because their idea is they're here to do one thing only, and that's make anti-gun groups happy, which makes them happy because they're all in the same boat together. And they hate the truth. So they make things up. Or stuff like this happens across the border. You are your own best protection. You gotta go out there and vote. I know I sound like a recording, but there's a reason behind it. You gotta push and make your voices heard. Because if the truth is sitting there looking in the eyeball, and they're going to sit there and say, "Nah, we don't believe in it. It's all made up. That's all it is." Something is wrong somewheres, and you need to get involved. The Constitution is very clear. We the people. Those bastards up there in Washington D.C. and some of your governing states, they are representatives of you, the people. We're all Americans here. Despite what they can come up with, what our lies they want to create, but we're all Americans. They like to divide people because it's easier for them to manipulate you. In all essence of this mess, these people do not believe in law. They'd rather go ahead and do whatever it is they have to do, and they think that if we can disarm everybody, we're going to be fine. Like Tim Walsh says, he likes school shooters. Wow. That was a really interesting thing to say. But these are the politicians you're dealing with. These are the correct, supposedly representatives. They want to represent. They want to take your rights away, disarm you, and then turn around and say, well, we need more gun control because 5 more people were killed today. All 5 probably had a permit to carry, but they couldn't carry it because they had to obey the law, because people will have these signs up on their stores or on their restaurants or their outings or wherever it may be, or in their parks, where not allowed to have a firearm, not allowed to have a firearm, not allowed to have a firearm. And these criminals know that because that's what they do their research for. They look for soft targets everywhere they can. Gangs, drug dealers, rapists, kidnappers, they all look for that. When it comes to school shootings, people like me come up with solutions. We can do this, but no. The anti-gun group said we don't want our kids looking like they're in some armed camp somewhere. Well, they don't tell you that if you worked in a government building or a state building or a federal building, how does that look like an armed camp? More security, better security, but that's an armed camp. Politicians don't want to do anything unless it's the easiest way. Let's just ban everything so then we can do what we want. People, listen to me. You gun groups, you gun clubs, you got to pull yourselves together across the states. Make your voices heard. Work together. Overpower these anti-gun goofballs. You have to do something. Do it. Don't be afraid to vote. Get out there and vote. This is also important. Because it could be your life. It could be your wife's life, your son's life, your daughter's life. Don't play games. Keep your friends and family close, and do not be afraid of defending others, and go out and vote this November. Catch you around.